said, it is Monday. Let's make some money today. What do you guys say? Let's do it. All right. And I'm at center ice, last minute betting with the Sports Nuts, your daily picks. Justin is here. How you doing, my friend? More people showing up.
Oops.
Where'd you get that from, Mike?
I didn't mean to.
It feels like a Monday. I can tell you that right now. We're powered by OddsJam, the premier odds comparison company for sports bettors worldwide. Don't forget about the OddsJam shop, shop.oddsjam.com. Partner program link is below in the description. 50% revenue share, and that's kind of where we're at right now. I would like to tell you where I'm at here, Mike.
Okay.
Free pick of the night. 4-3, but I'm down. I'm down like a half a unit.
It's because you're hammering these free picks of the night. You're throwing like 3 units on them, I've been seeing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I felt pretty good.
Yep.
Not the majority of them, but I got kind of screwed on a couple of them, I thought. So that's just my opinion. 4-3.4 units down, Mike.
Ooh.
That's only 0.4.
Well,
and then I only put 2 on last night's pick. Which one?
Darius Garland over 13.5 points. Yeah, I like that.
And we have breaking news. You know what the breaking news is? You ready? The UFL Championship will be played and hosted in St. Louis at the Dome. Woo! And a possibility. Could you imagine if the Battlehawks made it to the championship? The Dome would be insane. So that's pretty big news. Okay.
How many teams are in that league?
8. 2 divisions or 2 conferences. There are 4 teams in each one. You have the USFL conference and the XFL.
That's
conference.
right.
Yeah. So, and the first game is what was it? Birmingham against Arlington. Those were the champions in the USFL and XFL. And St. Louis, their first game is against Michigan. So
nothing like some UFL talk on Super Bowl week, baby.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, it's breaking news. Come on.
Spring football.
You're darn right. I'll be ready for it after this. By the way, congratulations to Taylor Swift. Now we can get into some Super Bowl talk, right? I mentioned Taylor. She won Album of the Year. That's an all-time record, beating out Frank Sinatra and Stevie Wonder. Great stuff. Now she's going to go and get her first Super Bowl ring. Right,
I was locked into Providence, Villanova during that. Sorry.
Okay, whatever, dude.
I must have missed that show.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I don't dislike that at all, Justin. I like that. I mean, Portland, you saw the other night, they, for what it's worth, they ended up getting, whipped up on by Denver, but,
that's Portland
have a lead.
He's talking college ball.
Yeah, Mike.
Oh, Portland State. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm actually on Eastern Washington in that game, full game. I don't mind Portland State in the first half there coming out hot as the home team, but I think Eastern Washington's the better team in that game. I think that was a morning coffee pick too, Bob. I think we took Eastern Washington there.
I'll tell you here in a second. If you may have put it out there, I may not have put it in the bet tracker. Let me look.
Shame on you.
Well, you can only do so much when you're flying solo.
Yeah.
By the way, tennis plays hit. Did they hit today? Something hit today.
Yeah.
Yep.
That Steve Johnson play on FanDuel.
Yeah. That one hit,
Got it
right?
at plus 140.
Right.
And then I also gave out a Shevchenko play, and he won today as well.
What did Acosta do? That's still going on, right?
I was not on that.
That was a game spread of like 4.5. I'll look at it. I'll look at it here in a second. Eastern Washington. We did. Remember, I did the ladder play on that.
That's right.
Minus 2.5, minus 3, minus 3.5, minus 4, and minus 4.5, all on Bet Rivers. So there you go.
Yeah, I took the minus 2.5. I always take the lowest one.
All right, so you really
I'm
want
not
to
much
talk
of a ladder.
You want to talk Super Bowl?
Well, it is Super Bowl week. Every other show's doing it.
What do you got, man? I mean, who do you think is going to win this damn thing?
I'm on the Chiefs money line. And I like the over 44.5. It's up to around 46, 47 at some books, but I got it at 44.5. And I think that's a good number. So I like the total to be right there around 46 with an over of 44.5. And I think Patrick Mahomes gets it done.
And MVP, right?
I would assume so. I placed a pretty nice bet today. Scotty Scheffler is going for his three-peat at the People's Open in Phoenix. And I parlayed him and the Chiefs at around plus 1,300. So you can't really get Scotty Scheffler at a good number these days, really, as an outright. But I parlayed him with the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, and that ends on the same day. So that'd be a nice little dynasty cash with a three-peat for Scheffler and then a third for Mahomes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All kinds of opportunities if you're using the platinum plan for the Chiefs plus 114 on Betfair. But you can also get the Chiefs plus 2 at minus 110 normal juice at any of the regular books.
I took them at plus 120 the night it opened.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. You can also get them at plus 2.5 at minus 115 on FanDuel.
Not interested in any points in a Super Bowl. You're either winning or you're losing.
Right. Yeah, no thanks on a total there. It's one of those situations. It's like, San Francisco, you almost feel like, they've got to want this really, really bad. They lost to the Chiefs in the last Super Bowl they played them in. And they've survived a couple of games they maybe should have lost. So it kind of feels like, okay, it's San Fran's year maybe, but I don't want to be caught betting against Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs have shown throughout these playoffs that went on the road, gotten the job done, beat the Ravens, the best team in the league, arguably at the time, went on the road in Buffalo, got the job done there. So what it comes down to is who do you want to bet against? Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers or Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I'll take Reid and Mahomes all day long. I think Kyle Shanahan's a great coach, but it just seems when he gets into these games, remember, he was the offensive coordinator for Atlanta when Atlanta blew that 28-3 lead against the Patriots. He was the
Happy 7-year anniversary today, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's on him. The play calling, they really blew that game. And then you see the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. He's the coach there, right? And they have a lead. They have a 10-point lead. And they don't get the job done. And look, I know Jimmy Garoppolo was the quarterback, so I know it's asking a lot, but at the end of the day, you got to the Super Bowl. So, Kyle Shanahan has just not been able to get over the hump here. I think he's an excellent play caller, play designer, and coach. I do, but I think I'll take Andy Reid and the Chiefs, who are going to have, as we've seen, plenty of time to game plan for this game. And, it's the Super Bowl. It's probably going to come down to one or two plays. What seems to always happen? The Chiefs always find themselves on the right end of those one or two plays. So,
okay, all right,
is what it is.
Gotta
Probably
make
a great game, though. It's probably going to be a really good game. I expect it to be tight. I hope it is at least, but I just don't want to bet against Mahomes in another Super Bowl like I did last year.
Just want to tell you all, we will be selling picks soon. Hopefully sometime this week, if not this week, next week. That's going to be happening from the Sports Nuts. Speaking of picks, we didn't fare very well in the AT&T Pebble Beach because they shortened it. It was only a 3-round tournament. I think we would have been a heck of a lot better shape if they would have been able to play the final round. They didn't. Boy, Wyndham Clark decides to win this week, Tony, and I had him 3 weeks ago. God darn, come on, Wyndham.
Yeah, that's golf betting for you. I mean, a course record 59 is just unbelievable. But yeah, we had 4 bets that finished one position off with an entire round to go. So that's pretty hurtful. But we actually dropped some live picks late Wednesday night for the first live tournament of the year, and we hit Neiman at plus 1,300 for the outright there. So the first golf outright of 2024 goes to Joaquin Neiman.
You hit Neiman. That was all
we're the golf gurus, baby. Your picks are my picks. My picks are your picks.
Oh, really? Does that mean your money's my money? Because if that's the case, we need to drop some in my bank account, bro.
Gee. Yeah, Justin, real quick to your comment. I mean, last year you saw it. It came down to a couple of plays. Remember the Jalen Hurts fumble? Kansas City scoops it and scores. And then the penalty on Juju Smith-Schuster, the pass interference call, whether you agree with it or not, the Chiefs find themselves on the right side of things. And, I don't want to be in that situation again this year because it feels kind of the same. The Eagles seemed like the better team, truthfully. Remember, last year was the first year no Tyreek Hill. So we were wondering, are they going to have enough? Because last year the Eagles offense was rolling. Are they going to have but they did. They got the job done and they won. So I don't want to repeat of last year sitting there like, gosh darn it. Mahomes got the ball in his hands, and I've got to hope and pray that he doesn't do what he does, and he probably is. So
see, this is about my 1-year anniversary since I joined OddsJam. I remember looking for the best pick for the Super Bowl last year, and I found all of Alex's intel and analysis on Chiefs money line and why he was picking the Chiefs. And I rode with that, and I've been with you guys ever since. So the Chiefs money line was the start of my OddsJam journey in last year's Super Bowl. After seeing all the data and everything from the line movement there, so I'm all in on the Chiefs for back-to-back years, and they were on the positive EV page again this year as well.
Yeah, we got Big Brother Charlie's in here. Game could go either way, but I think the Niners will do it. I feel like the game is even. Him and I just had some discussion of that on the radio show. One thing, here's what I'm looking for from the Kansas City defense. I'm looking for them to bump those receivers off their routes, and when Purdy is throwing to that window, that's all timing, there's an interception coming the Chiefs' way.
That'll be Jarius Sneed for you right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, Jadarius Sneed. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, the secondary for the Chiefs is their strength. I do worry about stopping the run for them because McCaffrey didn't really have a great game last game at all, and they're gonna want to utilize him a ton in this game. I mean, it's one and done. I mean, we've seen Christian McCaffrey carry workloads even when he was with Carolina. This is a McCaffrey type of game, I feel.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
don't count out Deebo Samuel too. But I definitely think this is a Christian McCaffrey type of game for the fact that if the Chiefs' weakness is stopping the run. But yeah, it's gonna be a great game. I mean, this could go either way. I do think the 49ers are probably the better team, but you have Patrick Mahomes and you have Andy Reid coaching. You also have Travis Kelce, who is, you know, just as much of a factor as McCaffrey is for the 49ers. You know, Kelce finds himself in the big third downs and the big needing to come up with the big catches. So I think that the Niners are probably the better team.
That's the thing, is all you got to do is be better for 4 quarters. I mean,
exactly.
There's no way that the Chiefs were a better football team overall than Baltimore was this year. But they were better than them for 4 quarters.
Yeah, same with the Super Bowl.
That's all that needs to happen this week coming up, is you just need to play 60 minutes of better football. It doesn't really matter if you're the better team.
Yeah, and I think that last year was the same. I think the Eagles were probably the better all-around team, but and I think in the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay, I do think the Chiefs were the better team when they lost to Tampa Bay, truthfully. Now, that Tampa Bay team was really good, yes, but I do think that Chiefs team was a little bit better of an all-around team than Tampa Bay. That's just my opinion, but you get to the Super Bowl, anything can happen.
And Ndamukong Suh won that Super Bowl for Tampa Bay. That rush up the middle is what killed Patrick Mahomes in that game. If they don't have that, Tampa Bay doesn't win. It wasn't Tom Brady. Sorry.
There's some miscues. I mean, you remember the Tyreek Hill dropping that ball in the end zone. It went off his face mask. I mean, things like that normally the Chiefs are, you know, they found themselves that game. Those sorts of things just didn't go their way and they lost. And, you know, most times, more often than not, the Chiefs are on the good side of those types of plays. So I don't want to find myself betting against Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl. I just don't want to do it.
Looks like the Cowboys are going to meet with Ron Rivera job in Dallas. We know that Dan Quinn is now the Commanders coach. We are left without Belichick coaching
and Vrabel.
I think Belichick's going to wait for Andy Reid to ride off into the sunset and then coach Mahomes for the next 5 years.
Maybe.
I just don't see that fit. I just do not see that fit. I really don't. That's just my opinion.
I think with the Commanders sneakily picking up Kingsbury as their OC, I'm pretty sure he's the guy who recruited Caleb Williams. So I wouldn't be surprised if Washington's looking at Caleb Williams at number 2, which is pretty unfortunate for any New England Patriots fans on this show like this one right here.
Yeah, and I think Dan Quinn's a very good head coach. I think that's a good move by the Commanders. Dan Quinn is a very good coach, great defensive mind. I mean, look, I know the Cowboys defense got lit up against Green Bay, but I mean, overall, he did a pretty good job with that Cowboys defense. They just were, for whatever reason, never able to stop the run. Boy, they can get after the passer, and Dan Quinn takes a lot of blame for that. But at what point can you say, you know what, Dan Quinn's not out there, man? The players need to stop the run.
I like everything about what Washington has done in the front office and with their coaching staff. I mean, bringing in Bob Myers from the Warriors to lead the search, and then hiring Adam Peters from San Francisco, who's pretty much been their GM. I mean, John Lynch is just a face, pretty much just making the final calls. But I mean, Adam Peters, pretty much the best GM in the game already, almost, are in Washington. And then Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury, both really good on their side of the ball. So I think they've got a good combination there. And if they can get Caleb Williams at number 2, watch out.
Yeah.
So you think they give up on Sam Howell then?
Oh yeah. I think after this year, this was his chance, and he blew it.
Okay.
Bringing in Jacoby Brissett at the end of the year, I think, kind
Pretty
of
well signaled that. Yeah. And look, they've got offensive weapons, you know, so, you know, Terry McLaurin is a very good receiver. You know, he's just nobody pays attention to him much because he's on a pretty bad team, you know, but they do have good offensive weapons there. So, yeah, I think the Commanders look out. Look out. I think they're going to be much more improved. And I thought they would be this year. They did have kind of a bad year, but I think that I think they'll be more improved this year, definitely, than last year.
All right. I'm going to the positive EV page today.
Let's get some picks in.
Yeah. The reason that I'm going here is I'm just looking to see if there's anything live here. And there isn't. By the way, you can get on the OddsJam Platinum plan now. Free trial. Go to oddsjam.com. Start a free trial for the Platinum plan. You know, I'm not a big guy on points, Mike, in the NHL. But you got Barzell over 1.5, and I think this is going to be an interesting game tonight with New York. But I do like, and this is chalkboard, which, by the way, we've added chalkboard now to the Fantasy Optimizer, another DFS platform. You may want to play that in your 5 or 6 pick. Miles Bridges, he's on the unders now, Mike. This was actually over earlier in the day. Under 36.5 PRA, and now that line has changed.
So that's a question that I've gotten before, guys, and I think it should be answered on the show for everybody else. When you see a positive VV page in the morning or a play in the morning, and then you see it flip in the nighttime, and you haven't made a pick yet, what do you think's the right pick? The original one where the line was, or after it's moved?
Yeah, I mean, at the time, it's probably going to be where it's at because that's where the value's at. But for me personally, some of those plays I will not jump on as often I kind of stay away from those. I mean, I may get on a couple of them if I like it, you know, but for the most part, probably not. I mean, I do like that Kyrie Irving play.
So I thought you would.
Yeah, back at it. He needs to carry some workload, which there's a Luka under on his PRA. So if Kyrie goes over on points and it's going to be a solid night for him, that could mean that Luka does maybe go under on a PRA because less points maybe he scores. But there is a Luka under there. Man,
let's hit that one. Let's hit. I like the Luka. Yeah, and Kyrie.
Well, then I would take the Kyrie over too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only, I think I read the 22nd or 23rd time they've ever played together. So they're still definitely trying to learn how to be in the same backcourt.
Yeah,
Justin's got Kyrie over on his PRA tonight. I do like that. We definitely have lines ripping towards his over tonight on points. So yeah, I would definitely ride that too.
How about Draymond Green under on assists?
Yeah, I would roll with that.
Okay, 6.5. Is he going to behave himself, guys?
No.
He doesn't really have a choice.
No. That was pretty quick. Austin Reeves. Whoa. Over 16.5 points. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, you can go to one-click bet here on this, folks. That's a great feature. And remember, it's still in beta mode, okay? We still have that is in beta mode. We're still in the testing process here. A lot of player points in the NHL. Not seeing any shots on goal, which is rather disappointing.
Yeah, and player points for me they've not been the greatest, you know,
right.
market for me.
There's the Kyrie over on his PRA.
Yeah, I'd hit that.
Yeah, let's hit that one too.
Justin got it He got over 34.5 at minus 110. It looks like you got minus 120 on it. 115.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to stay away from Jared Allen over 16.5 points.
Plus odds play there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only worry. I mean, I think Justin's got Garland over on points too. I'm a little worried with both of those.
Okay.
I'd ride it. I do like Garland going over his points tonight. Jared Allen may as well, I guess.
Garland under on his PRA right now.
Yeah.
Clay Thompson under on his PRA.
Actually,
I like that.
Yeah, and I don't mind the Garland under PRA because unless he has a big scoring night, I think he's going to get around 15 to 16 points. I don't think I think you'll be safe taking his under PRA, and Justin still cashes his points over.
Let's look at a little arbitrage here real quick. If there's anything out there that probably isn't at this moment, but we always like to check because you never know. No, there's nothing there right now. Folks, you got to check out Focus Mode for arbitrage. You're going to love it. It's great. Also, don't forget the promo finder showing you what the best promos are in your state, and the promo converter in which you can turn your free bet, your site credit, your bonus bet, your qualifying bet, your risk-free bet into money. Decide what book, what kind of promo type it is, and the amount, and you can go here and turn that $100 into $80, risk-free. Doesn't matter which site wins. That is a great thing. Great stuff there. All right. 34.5. Okay. All right. Minus 110. So let's talk here because we're going to start selling picks, guys. And when we do, we may be doing some stuff on X where we're giving away a free week or a free month worth of picks to generate some action. But and then there's more to come on that. In the meantime, what are y'all on tonight? And I got to give you my pick of the night. Tony, Mike, are you guys on anything here tonight?
I got one I'll give here. I like Cleveland tonight. I got to be honest with you. Won 5 in a row, 13 out of the last 14. I like the way they've been playing lately, Bob. I mean, we were just talking about Garland and having a decent night, at least scoring. They're a pretty well-balanced team, good defensively. They don't really have that one guy they depend on for the majority of their scoring. Very balanced, very scrappy defensive team. I know that the Kings are a good and a potent offense, but that's what we're looking at here. Cleveland's offense to slow down Cleveland's defense to slow down Sacramento's offense, and Sacramento's defense is not that great. So Cleveland's going to have theirs tonight. So I do like the Cavs to cover the spread over the Kings tonight, Bob.
Okay.
I think it's a good matchup for them.
Okay. I'm going to tell you what my pick is going to be tonight.
I mean, I guess you could argue Mitchell for their main scoring, but,
So I'm going to take, and I guess we're going to call this who's balling, but I'm taking, and Tony's going to freak out on this one. I'm going to take the Prairie View A&M Panthers at minus 2.5. I get it for minus 115 on BetMGM. I'm taking the Prairie View Panthers. That's my pick of the night. This will be a 3-unit play.
Oh, man, here he goes.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. You weren't ready for that, were you, Tony? You didn't even think Prairie View A&M, did you?
I actually have about 11 mid-major plays tonight, but I'm not on Prairie View.
Uh-oh. Does that mean you're on the opposite side?
No, I didn't touch that game.
Another thing I like in that game, the total is 160.5. I like the under in that game. What are your thoughts, Tom?
I don't bet college basketball totals.
Okay, you're afraid.
No, I just have a system, and that's not part of it.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. If you bet Kentucky over, you're going to win a lot of money this year. Okay, just saying. That's a little tip from me to you.
I'll write that down.
Betting Kentucky overs has been good so far, especially when they play a team like Tennessee. They blew that away. Half a unit. Crazy. Go ahead. Half a unit on Trey, over 9.5 assists.
He's been coming through lately on some overs, though, Justin. You got to remember, he didn't make the All-Star team. Maybe he's a little mad about that. You see that sometimes when guys maybe don't make it, and maybe they feel they should have. They have some big games, and so far Trey has kind of been balling here lately. So I'm not as afraid as I normally am. After the All-Star break, he'll probably go back to typical Trey Young, and we'll say, well, that's why you didn't make the All-Star team, bro. You're not consistent.
There you go. All right, Tony.
Now he's on one.
Who you got for me tonight? Who's balling?
Well, I just said go ahead, Tony.
I'm on the Clippers tonight. That's my pick of the night. I took them at -130, but I think they're all the way up to like -170 now. So I would throw that in a parlay with somebody else. But I like the Clippers as a team to ball out, and I like Jonathan Kuminga's over in his points as an individual player prop to ball out tonight.
I like that. I like that. Any thoughts on the two hockey games tonight, guys?
I mean, that's a big one. I mean, that's a big one coming out of this All-Star break. It's at New York. I think I got to go with the home team here.
It's in Toronto.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Islanders are at
and
Toronto.
Yes.
Colorado's at the Rangers.
Right. I got to go with the Rangers.
Okay. I think you're right there.
I got confused on the New York games there. I'm on the Rangers with you as well. And then I got Anders Lee over 2.5 shots on goal in that Islanders game. It's at plus money, and that was on the positive EV page earlier, so I don't think that's a pretty bad play for that game. Just 3 shots on goal for Lee at plus money on the Islanders.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Other than that, for me, balling wise tonight, I mean, I think we've got to say Kyrie's going to ball tonight. I'll go with that.
Okay. And who's bucking? Chris Kreider over 2.5 shots on goal tonight. I like that play.
Okay.
I also I like Austin Matthews tonight. Just coming off an all-star win, his team did in the all-star game. Speaking of which, that was kind of entertaining. A lot more entertaining than whatever they're doing in football. I mean,
I didn't watch any of that.
That's got to be some of the dumbest crap I've ever seen in my life.
There was so much college basketball on this weekend. I missed all of the all-star weekend.
Oh, well, the hockey is pretty good. And they came up with some new twists and what have you on their competition. I liked what they did. It was pretty cool. You know, I still say them and baseball best all-star games, especially with the home run derby. You know, with baseball.
Yeah, baseball.
Baseball. Yeah, man. Speaking of which, Tony, you know what? Pitchers and catchers report in a week and a half?
In a week, yeah. It was actually truck day in Boston today. The truck went down, headed out of Fenway Park to head to Fenway South. But I believe pitchers and catchers report on the 13th, which is in 8 days.
All right. I knew it was close to a week and a half. There you go.
Yeah,
that's going to be happening, man. Ought to be an interesting time. We still, there's pitchers out there. Blake Snell has not been signed yet by anybody. Neither is Jordan Montgomery. I mean, you could get them now, folks. And here we go. Leafs and Lakers. Lakers
minus 12.5 for the Lakers against Charlotte. I mean, I'll ride that with you. I'll ride with that with you, Steven. Lakers really just disappointing to say the least. Clippers, on the other hand, they're hot. They're on fire.
Yes, they are. And
on the Clips.
And Kawhi is on fire. Although today's positive EV, the value is all on his unders, you know.
Well, I could see that back to back here. Second night of a back to back, they've been on fire. So I could definitely see it. But yeah, I mean, when you look at what the Clippers got, guys, and they're all playing well together. Paul George and Russell Westbrook have played together before, right? This isn't their first time. Russell Westbrook and James Harden have played together.
I saw a stat that Russell Westbrook actually, his player efficiency rating, he's the best sixth man right now in the NBA.
He's been playing good with them. They're all knowing their role and understand. I mean, you know, James Harden. How about him last night? He had a solid game. You know, a couple of big threes, and they fouled him on the 3 of 2 4. What was it? 2 4-point plays for him, and then his ability to assist, you know, and set guys up. His passing's unbelievable. I really think this Clippers team could be a lot to deal with in a best of 7 because you've got 4 guys there that, I mean, 3 of them are two-way players. James Harden, not necessarily, but Russ brings it defensively. Paul George and Kawhi do. That's a tough team, man.
Well, you know, Paul George, I really like him, but man, he seems like he is up and down as a scorer. I mean, I don't know.
It's been his whole career.
I mean, because he's a hell of a talent. I mean, he really is. But I love Kawhi. I liked him since he's with the Spurs, and I've always liked Kawhi.
Oh, yeah. That's one of those teams that if all the players can play up to their potential, they're easily one of the best talent-wise in the league. So you put that together in a 7-game series. If all 4 of those guys play up to the best of their ability, there's not really a team in the West that might be able to compete with them.
And they got a guy like Terrence Mann who can shoot. He's a spot-up shooter. And you know, James Harden can get guys the ball, and it's really hard, you know, when he's out on the floor. He gets lost in that corner, and he is money in that corner, man. That corner 3, he is lights out. So I just think this Clippers team is, you know, I think I know it's early, but I think they're going to be, if they can stay healthy, we got to have Kawhi and Paul George healthy, as we know. But if they are, man, I think the Clippers could be very, very difficult. And I'll tell you what, if they at some point run in, you know, I know a lot of people like Oklahoma City and teams like that this year. Well, I'll tell you what, in a best of 7, that's going to be tough to deal with the Clippers' experience and, you know, some of their depth that they have.
All right. Big game tomorrow night. It's going to be on ESPN Plus and Hulu. The Edmonton Oilers visit the Vegas Golden Knights with a chance to tie the record of 17 straight wins. By the way, Vegas has a 5-point lead over Edmonton right now. But are you ready for this, Tony? The Oilers have 5 games in hand. They've only played 45 games. Vegas has played 50. So this is a huge game for the standings because they're fighting it out for second and third place in the Pacific Division. And I got to tell you, I think the Oilers are going to do it. I think McDavid's on a mission.
See, I was just going to say, give me Vegas at plus money at home.
Well, I hate to tell you this. That's not necessarily a good thing. Vegas has struggled at home in big games the last couple of years.
That's fine. You can take Edmonton.
I will.
And I'll take Vegas with the plus money at home.
Okay. All right. You go ahead, right ahead. I'm just telling you, Vegas at home is not money in the bank like it should be. But do you think so? You're basically saying the winning streak's over.
The winning streak ends.
Okay. You with that, Mike? You on that?
I mean, I think so. I think Vegas, defending Stanley Cup champs, they know they got a chance to end this streak, and they got to want to do it against a division rival who is right in the mix here in terms of trying to take over that division after the rough start. Yeah, I mean, if you're Vegas, this would be a great chance for you to just stick it to them and say, winning streak ends. By the way, we're still here,
Okay. I just
plus 124 at DK right now.
I just got a feeling they're going to do it, guys. I just can't help it. Skinner and
no.
Picard?
No, I don't, Justin.
I never do that though, Justin. Not necessarily because of that reason,
right?
But I would never take an under and then an over in a game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, first quarters can be. I mean, being just the first quarter, I guess. I mean, I don't. It is what it is. But yeah, normally not something I would do. But
hey, Justin, stick with that live EV, bud. That was a money maker for me yesterday. Hit some really good plays. All right, that ends the show, guys. Good job, as always. We'll be letting you know about picks. If we're not ready to sell this week, we will be giving you the Golf Gurus picks. We might have a couple little special plays to put out. You might do some round plays or matchups. Do something different. Have a great day, folks. See you later.
See y'all.